adventurers, we are here at Main Street at Disneyland, and I have actually not seen the new Walt Disney show here, so we're going to check it out. Recently, they have changed over on The Magical Life of Walt Disney, and it's now featuring 2 dramatic theater presentations with also great moments with Mr. Lincoln. So we are going to go inside and we're going to check it out. So we are going to head in and we're going to check it out for the day. This is something fun that you can do to try to get out of the heat or get out of the cold. When you first walk in, you see this magical area, and this is the bench where Walt Disney dreamt up Disneyland. So he would sit on the bench as his kids rode the carousel at Griffith Park, and he would eat his peanuts, and he decided that he wanted to create something that the entire families could enjoy. So this bench right here is actually where Walt Disney imagined Disneyland. So it says that it is the actual park bench from the Griffith Park merry-go-round in Los Angeles where Walt Disney first dreamt up Disneyland. So, and this is one of the first pictures of Walt walking through the Sleeping Beauty's castle. So this is definitely super fun and memorable here at Disneyland. We're gonna walk through over here. It says Disneyland, and it's gonna give us a little bit of history. So it has the first ears. Look at that, the 60th. I was there for here for the 60th. Oh, look at how cute, a little Steamboat Willie. Oh my gosh, look at the first one. Mickey Mouse Club. It's only 29 cents and you can look like Mickey. That's adorable. Over here it's Fantasyland. Look at the artwork where they dreamt up the castle. So pretty. On the back, Fantasyland over here. Got the carousel, pirate ship. Wow, the cove, the little shops, Dumbo. Over here, take a look. It says Main Street, USA. And it's got this cute little clock and the cute little Mickey Mouse watches. That so fun. Over here, different artwork and how they dreamt up Main Street. Tomorrowland.
Ideas for what he wanted Disneyland to be outgrew the Burbank site, and he started the search for the right location to build his theme park. 2 site plans by Marvin Davis explore versions of what a 50-acre park might look like. On display is the first site plan specifically drawn for the Anaheim location by Marvin Davis, as well as the first plan that has been rotated to place the entrance on the south side of the park, as it is today. The next site plan is the one famously included in the pitch kit Walt Disney used in New York when presenting the idea of Disneyland to potential investors.
So I have those plans over on the wall. I'll have to show you. Here is more. This is Adventureland. You can see the different first photos of Jungle Cruise. More Adventureland over here with the bazaar and everything. This is Frontierland.
I hope you see the many ideas he had.
Big Thunder Mountain.
How he kept trying different arrangements.
Cool. They have Galaxy's Edge there too.
And experiences.
New Orleans Square.
This is a real illustration of
What it started off as.
As long as there's imagination left in the world, Disneyland will never.
Over here you have New Orleans Square again. But this is kind of the newer stuff. We have Tiana's Bayou Adventure And then over here we have some Toontown with Mickey's Runaway Railway.
May be favorites of yours, and some, I can tell you,
So over
they
here
take you on a journey of Walt's
talks
first
about
idea for Disneyland,
universities,
across the street from his studio in Burbank,
all the different
up to the
awards that
Disneyland
Walt
site
got.
plan created for Anaheim. The same weekend, Walt Disney and Herb Ryman created their iconic
There you go.
bird's eye view
Walt Disney in recognition of his successful career in want ad.
of what was inside the Burbank version of Disneyland and Harper Goff's site plans.
Check this out right here.
You can see how Walt was thinking about all aspects of his park,
And all the way over
such
here.
as themed merchandise, how the name of this park is
More
always going
awards
to
for
be
Walt.
Disneyland. Walt's expanding ideas for what he wanted Disneyland to be.
We're here.
The Burbank site. And
This looks
started
like
the search
Walt's
for the
little
right
office
location.
that is above Main Street.
Site plans by Marvin Davis explore versions
Make a
of the
left.
60-acre park.
We have Frontierland on this side. The shops.
On
And look at the
display is
Mark
first
Twain.
site plan specifically drawn for the Anaheim location by Marvin Davis. As well as the front plan that has been rotated to place the entrance on the south side.
And then we're going to go to the right, and this is supposed to look like Walt's office. So when you actually look at the fire truck above the fire station on Main Street, this is what it looks like on the inside. And that light by the window is actually lit because every time Walt was at Disneyland, he would keep that light lit so then people knew that he was here. And still till this day, the light is lit just to kind of show that his presence is still here. It gets changed out to be a Christmas tree during Christmas time. The only time the light is off is when there's an actual Walt Disney family member in the parks. Here are the first kind of maps, I think, of what they were doing. This is Griffith Park, of places where they thought they were possibly going to have Disneyland.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Main Street Opera House. Our doors will be opening momentarily for our next presentation of Walt Disney: A Magical Life. For your safety, please make sure we stand on the other side of that red line on the carpet as the doors will be opening towards you. If you have not done so already, please make sure that you finish or discard any food or beverages that you have brought with you, as we are unable to accommodate them in the theater. If you're looking to utilize our wheelchair accessible viewing, it will be in the center of the theater right underneath the doors that say house. If you're looking to see our show and are accompanied by a stroller, we ask that you park them out front, as we're unable to accommodate them in the theater as well. Once again, friends, please make sure we stay on the other side of that red line. Just make sure to watch your step and keep your entire party together. Enjoy the show.
So over here, they have a bunch of new stuff for us to take a look at. We're going to start in the center because this looks the most interesting for sure. Cute. It's an alligator. The Jungle Cruise crocodile. That is the dancing man to the left. And then we have the singing bird to the right. Hi, Jose.
Up here I am. I have a few thousand things in my feathered brain to tell you about Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. It is the most amazing show in Disneyland. It is 17 minutes in all. The birds tell jokes, the flowers sing, the tikis chant, and my cousin Jose, he whistles and he croons. You have to see it to believe it, and then you will not believe it.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. There's Jose. Is he going to say the same thing? Find out. All right. So behind us, we have some awards. University of Southern California. It's for Walt Disney in recognition of his great contributions. Oh, here's Snow White. Here's Mickey on top of a turtle. Look how old he is. In the film. Wow. Oh, cool. Best Producer Film Series. That's very cool. Wow. And then it's amazing to see the artwork on the side of Disney, Walt Disney. It's his legacy. There's Walt Disney, A Magical Life over there. And then we have Abraham Lincoln to the left. All right, we're going to turn around and we're going to look at these guys. These are from It's a Small World. Oh my gosh. That must be Mary Blair. They're so cute. And then this is from Pirates of the Caribbean. Very cool. Photo of Walt Disney with Mickey Mouse. Abraham Lincoln. Ooh. There you go. The next presentation is in 20 minutes. Just filled the theater. We will be heading in there soon.
They say that Hollywood is a town built on dreams, and one of its greatest dreamers was Walt Disney. His life was filled with both exhilarating success and heartbreaking setbacks. But he never gave up. He just kept moving toward that great big, beautiful tomorrow. The story of Walt's life is truly a magical one, and no one could tell it quite like Walt himself.
My dad worked as a carpenter in the World's Fair building. He eventually ended up in Chicago as a contractor, and he was doing that when I was born, December 1901. But my dad made some money as a contractor, and he wanted to get back to the farm. They finally ended up buying this farm in Marceline, Missouri. It was a beautiful farm, but it was not the kind of farm to make a living on. Things got pretty tough on the farm because my dad had a sickness. So my dad sold the farm, took the money, and went to Kansas City. And my dad bought this Kansas City Star route. And they gave me a route. I was about 9 or 10 when I started that. In winter, we'd go out at 3:30 in the morning right after a blizzard, or in a blizzard, or in pouring rain. It didn't matter. I did that for 6 years. It was tough.
The constant hardship took a heavy toll on the Disney family. One by one, the children began to leave home. And one day, Walt woke up to find his best friend, his brother Roy, had gone as well. So Walt did something that he would do throughout his life when things got tough. He took a chance.
My brother had joined the Navy, so I wanted to join it. Well, I was still a year too young. I was 16. Finally, this kid came in to me very excited. He said, "There's something just forming here that you and I can get in." I said, "What is it?" He said, "An ambulance unit." I was in Paris, 3rd of September, when Pershing left. Paris, which had been this exciting thing, with all its soldiers and things, suddenly there wasn't a soldier to be seen. And I suddenly became very lonesome. So then I went in, put a request in to be discharged. So I hit Chicago, that's where my parents were living, and I said, "Dad, I want to be an artist." And my dad, he just couldn't buy that. So I pulled stakes and moved to Kansas City. Roy was in Kansas City working at a bank. One of the fellows working with Roy said, "Say, I have a couple of friends that have an art shop." So I went up to these samples, and there were all these corny things I'd done in France. Well, my gosh, they got him. I mean, right on the spot. So I took the camera home, and then I started experimenting in my own way. So then I went into this Kansas City Film Actor. So that was where I got started in the animation business. So I was thinking if I had something with a novel click, I might crack the market. But I still couldn't get anywhere with it. I failed. I learned a lot out of that. And I think it's important to have a good art failure when you're young. So I packed all my worldly goods in a cardboard suitcase. I went to Hollywood.
arriving there with just $40 in my pocket from my Kansas City ventures. Now, my brother Roy was already in Los Angeles. Both of us were unemployed. We solved the problem by going into business for ourselves. We established the first animated cartoon studio in Hollywood.
Walt's dreams were finally coming true. He had his first big hit, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And he had married the love of his life, Lillian, an ink and paint artist at the studio who shared his dreams. Then he was dealt a devastating blow. On a business trip to New York City, he learned that he had lost ownership of Oswald due to a contract loophole. And to make matters worse, the distributor had signed away Walt's artists. Most people would have given up right then and there. Not Walt Disney. He sent a telegram to his brother Roy. Everything okay. And as he headed home to California, something happened along the way that would change things forever.
Mickey Mouse came into our life.
He popped out of my mind onto a drawing pad on a train ride from Manhattan to Hollywood at a time when the business fortunes of my brother Roy and myself were at lowest ebb and disaster seemed right around the corner. His first actual screen appearance was at the Old Colony Theater in New York in Steamboat Willie. He was the first cartoon character to stress personality, and I thought of him from the first as a distinct individual. I did the voice. Hang on, pal, here we go. Mickey was simply a little personality assigned to the purposes of laughter. Mickey fitted the need exactly. He brought in the money which saved the day. He enabled us to explore our medium, and he paved the way for our more elaborate screen ventures.
By nature, I'm an experimenter, so I had another idea which was plaguing my brain. It was the Silly Symphonies. It was a series without a central character.
Every one of us a new type of subject to give us something to reach out and accomplish something different. Then we started distributing both Mickey Mouse and Silly Symphonies. It was nip and tuck, get them out.
Walt began to push himself and his artists, and when he wasn't working, he was worrying about the future. And then the inevitable happened. In 1931, he had what he called a heck of a breakdown. So he did something unique for Walt Disney. He took time off and took his wife on the first vacation they had ever had. When they returned, he was a new man, filled with ideas for the future.
I saw the handwriting on the wall there. It was a short subject. It was just a filler on any program. Now, if I could crack the feature field, then I could do things. I had done a little story research on different fairy tales I might do, and Snow White was one of them. I thought it was the perfect story. I had the heavy.
It's a magic wishing apple. Now, make a wish.
I had the prince, then the girl, the romance. I had the sympathetic dwarfs and things. We started Snow White sometime late 35, and it was around 2 years in the making. We had the family fortune. We had everything wrapped up in Snow White. In fact, the banker, I think, was losing more sleep than I was. We had a big premiere at the Carthay Circle Theater. Big, grand Hollywood premiere. All Hollywood brass turned out for a cartoon.
The granny of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is going to be presented this beautiful statue. Isn't it bright and shiny?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Aren't you proud of it, Mr. Disney?
Well, I'm so proud, I think I'll bust.
With the profits of Snow White, I built a studio. Two years later, I was almost broke. But I had all these pictures and words. Pinocchio, That was when the war came. So the whole world was collapsing then. So many of my boys went through the service. So I just practically stopped my feature production. It's all I could do. And after the war, I got a problem picking up the pieces. I knew that diversifying of the business would be the salvation of it. So I tried various things. I wanted to go beyond the cartoon. So I thought if I could get into the live end, there's things I could do.
Stand by, engines.
Not bad, eh, Charlie? Let's open her up and see what you really do.
I wanted to look different types of things that I could fall on my nose with one of these pictures, but I had another one right behind it that would hit.
After long concentration on live action and cartoon films, we decided to try something that would employ about every trick we had learned in the making of films. We would combine cartoon, live action, in an enormous fantasy, Mary Poppins. As the original Mary Poppins budget of $5 million continued to grow, I never saw a sad face around the studio. Even my brother Roy was happy. This made me nervous. And the horrible thought struck me. Suppose the staff had finally conceded that I knew what I was doing.
Once again, Walt Disney had created storytelling magic to reinvent family entertainment. But even then, he wasn't finished. He had a bigger dream in mind.
Well, it came about when my daughters were very young, and Saturday was always Daddy's Day with the two daughters. So we'd start out and try to go someplace with, different things, and I would take them to the merry-go-round, and I took them different places, and as I'd sit there while they rode the merry-go-round, did all these things, I felt that there should be something built, some kind of an amusement enterprise built where that the parents and the children could have fun together. So that's how Disneyland started. Takes a lot of money to make these dreams come true. And we had everything mortgaged, including my family. Started with many ideas, threw them away, started all over again. And eventually it evolved into what you see today as Disneyland. But it all started from a daddy with two daughters wondering where he could take them, where he could have a little fun with them too. The heart means a lot to me in that something will never be finished, something that I can keep developing and adding to. Not only can I add things, but even the trees will keep growing. The thing will get more beautiful every year. And I knew that if I did anything like the park, I had to have some kind of a medium like television to let the people know about it.
The world is a carousel of color, history, comedy, fantasy. There's drama and mirth, there's old Mother Earth, with all of her secrets to see. The miracle of imagination, the marvels of earth, sea and sky. These wonders untold are ours to behold in the funny world, the sunny world, the wonderful world of color.
And now your host, Walt Disney. Today I want to share with you some of our ideas for Disney World. Here in Florida we have something special we never enjoyed at Disneyland, the blessing of size. There's enough land here to hold all the ideas and plans we can possibly imagine. We know what our goals are, we know what we hope to accomplish, and believe me, it's the most exciting and challenging assignment we've ever tackled at Walt Disney Productions.
Throughout his storied career, Walt never gave up, despite the many challenges along the way. For his visionary work, he received hundreds of awards from all corners of the globe, more Academy Awards than any individual in history, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom for a lifetime of inspiring others. He created dreams that live on today for millions around the world. But with all of that, when asked to name his greatest reward, Walt's reply was surprisingly humble.
Well, my greatest reward, I think, is that I've been able to build this wonderful organization, and also to have the public appreciate and accept what I've done all these years. That is a great reward. But all individuals are different. I had a brother who I really envied because he was a mailman, but he was the one that had all the fun. He had himself a trailer, and he used to go off and go fishing, and he didn't worry about payrolls, the story. He just had picture grocers or anything, and he was the happy one. I always said he's the smart Disney. You know, I was stopped one day when the little boy asked, "Do you draw Mickey Mouse?" And I had to admit I do not draw anymore. Well, then you think up all the jokes and ideas. No, I said, I don't do that. Finally, he looked at me and said, "Mr. Disney, just what do you do?" Well, I said, sometimes I think of myself as a little bee. I go from one area of the studio to another and gather pollen and sort of stimulate everybody. I guess that's the job I do. You know, there's a lot of satisfaction in developing ideas into realities, but there's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We're interested in doing things that are fun, in bringing pleasure and especially laughter to people. But I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing. It was all started by a mouse.
Like a boat out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come.
Out here it says, you can dream, create, design, and build the most wonderful place in the world, but it requires people to make the dream a reality. And Walt Disney said that, and it has pictures from the very beginning. Look at how fun Tomorrowland, the mermaids when they were in the lagoon. So much history. Oh, jingles for the carousel. Look at how fun the band is. Jungle Cruise. Oh my gosh. Sorcerer Mickey. We keep moving forward. So here is the Avatar land that's going to be coming in. And then that is going to be right here is for the new Avengers Campus that they'll be putting in. A new Coco ride at California Adventure. They're going to be adding, I think, the Mandalorian Grogu. So, it's very cool. But there you go. There's the new stuff that's coming to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. That was such a cute little show, and it is such a great way to like get out of the heat or just to relax your legs or just enjoy some Disney history. I love Walt Disney, so it is very, very special that they created that. So, but thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video if you love Walt Disney as much as I do and you love Disney history. Make sure you subscribe for more because I have almost daily Disney content or Southern California theme parks and events coming your way. All right, thank you so much.